Good afternoon, Vacation Mike here. Beth is still back in Virginia doing horse things, probably involving 20-degree weather. Not so much here in Florida, so joke's on Beth. But it's been, we're about 2 weeks away from 2 weeks beyond Thanksgiving, and over the last literal 10 days, I have had turkey in some form or another. Leftover. Beth's family, they obviously have the turkey, but then they have like 16 sides with every big meal for Thanksgiving. And it takes a long time to get through all those leftovers. But anyway, because I've had so much turkey for almost 2 weeks now, decided I want to try a little something different today. So I have a friend who kind of made a suggestion. This is brunch. Now brunch, look at his little tail. Brunch, being the dapper young pig that he is, he heard of a place in Disney Springs. Says he doesn't know a lot about it, but he loved the name, Polite Pig. So I'm going to head over there, check it out. Unfortunately, I don't think Brunch looked at the menu, so we're not going to tell him. So before we head out, I gotta tell you about my day yesterday. Yesterday was a travel day. Normally it takes me about 2 hours to go back and forth between Florida and Virginia when I go back. And it's usually a direct flight. Now, if you've traveled a lot, if you've flown a lot rather, whether it's for work or personal or whatever it might be, you know that if you fly with if you fly with the same airline multiple times, you get a better experience. They call it, these frequent flyer programs, status, whatever it might be. And so we're at the end of the year, and I realize that I'm getting close to that next level of status. So the way United does it, which is who I fly with, they don't care how many miles you do, they care about how many flights you take, as well as how much those flights cost, how much money you spend with United. So again, we're in the first week of December now, so I don't know how many more flights I'll be taking this year. I intentionally paid 3 times more than I would for a flight with a layover, as opposed to the usual flight, which is only a 2-hour flight, direct, no layover, just so I could, bump that next level of status. Well, it was a disaster. Instead of taking 2 hours to get here, I left Dulles at 12:30 yesterday around lunchtime. I didn't get here in Orlando until almost 3 a.m. I could have driven. Oh my word. It was just one giant mess after another, but stuff happens. So I think the take-home message, I think Leonard Skinner said it best. Just be a simple man. And with that said, let's go eat. So Polite Pig, that Cobb salad was great. Is it the best salad on Disney property? That award probably still goes to the Brown Derby. At the Brown Derby, you know, they really finely chop the ingredients, especially the lettuce. And at Polite Pig, it's more of a traditional style in terms of the chop of the lettuce, so it's a little thicker. But the pork was great on it. Since I don't do dressings, like white condiments, I think they had a vinaigrette. Why can't I say that word? Vinaigrette. And instead put a little barbecue sauce on it to kind of moisten the ingredients. So I thought that went well. I like the kind of charred corn that they had. So, you know, I think if you want to take a break from all the sort of heavy Disney eating, come to Polite Pig. Actually, come to Polite Pig twice. Come once and just go all out for the barbecue. Come a second time for something a little lighter with the salad. I think you'll really like it. Now, for my drink, I remember a couple of months ago I saw someone post something about they had a sort of choose-your-own-adventure old-fashioned where they have a special menu and you had a couple of selections of different bourbons you could try. And then, in addition, your second choice would be what type of bitters, and then your third choice would be the garnish. And so you could kind of mix and match, but it was sort of a limited menu. I was going to do that today, but my server informed me that they didn't have any more menus, but they were still basically doing the same thing, except now it's open to the entire bourbon list. So, Polite Pig has an extensive, I mean, we're talking gigantic bourbon list, and some really good stuff, hard to find stuff. You know, they've got Pappy there, Michter's, Weller's. I mean, they've got lots of good bourbons. So, I didn't really know, I knew what bitter I wanted. I hadn't tried the kind of Mexican chocolate, that was one of the options that they offered me, but I didn't really know what to pair with it. So I did a quick Google search, you know, what goes well with chocolate bitters, and the choices I got were Booker's and Stagg Jr. So they didn't have Booker's, they were out of it for whatever reason, but Stagg Jr. they did have. So I got a combination of the Stagg, the Mexican chocolate bitters, and then an orange garnish was what I chose for my third selection. It was really good. They have a very heavy pour, so if you like bourbon, you're going to be very happy. You're going to get a nice size old fashioned. My mistake was not doing a little bit more research on the Stagg. So there's some fine print on the Stagg which says it's barrel proof. So when I took my first sip, I was like, that's some substantial, that'll put a little hair on your chest, you know what I mean? And then I looked it up and the proof is something like 136. So if you're going to go that route, I have no problem with it. But if you're going to go that route, maybe only have one. I think I'm going to be walking around Disney Springs for a little while, just kind of walking that one off. But, you know, I enjoyed the taste of it. I didn't get a ton of chocolate, but I think that was also because I had such a high alcohol content baseline bourbon. I think if it had been a little different, something a little milder, you could probably taste the chocolate a bit more. So I did get a hint of chocolate, but not a ton of chocolate. But overall, Polite Pig, you know, this is one of those places we've been coming for several years now. It was on our very first trip back in January 2018 when we brought the whole family. And ever since then, we just loved it. We come pretty frequently. But this is my first time getting the salad. So again, you want something a little healthier, taking a break from all the heavy eating, either at the middle of your trip or even at the end of your trip when you just want to kind of detox a little bit. Come and get the salad. It's very filling, but you actually feel good after eating it as opposed to just feeling like you want to go take a nap. So with that said, I think I'm gonna, like I said, walk off my giant old fashioned, but after that, probably head to the house. I have the perfect dessert pairing for when we get home. Alright, made it back from Springs. Took a few hours to walk off my giant old fashioned, so it's a good thing. But anyway, I promised you when I got home we would talk about dessert pairings. And after I spent an afternoon dining on the relatives of my little friend here, I reached for something that's going to give me that little extra boost in my day. That's right, folks. 70 calories, fiber 1. It'll tick your colon the whole way down. So please, fiber up America. And until next time, this has been Vacation Mike and Brunch. We'll see you next time.